Home telephones have been connected to the world with wire copper for decades.
But some homeowners are complaining Verizon is upgrading their lines so they can upsell them new services. Liz Crenshaw has been checking into all of this. What have you found, Liz?
Pat and Jim, while every day people cancel phone service and just rely on their cell phones, there are some homeowners who are happy with their old copper telephone service, but some are complaining the phone company, Verizon, is pushing them into technology they don't want so it can sell them features they didn't ask for.
This is just outrageous.
Elizabeth Wagaman of Potomac, Maryland, is upset with Verizon. She says the phone company called her and said her neighborhood was experiencing phone service problems.
And he said, well, what we need to do is, in order to fix this, we have to go to every single house in the neighborhood to update the wiring.
Wagaman, like many Americans, has plain old telephone service on a copper phone line. She agreed to be part of a neighborhood fix, but when Verizon showed up at Wagaman's house, she noticed the technician was not servicing the entire neighborhood.
I see a young man marking the lines. Neither house on either side of me or across the street has been marked, so I knew there was something wrong with this.
Wagaman immediately contacted Verizon. The customer service rep told her the technician was hooking her up for FiOS, cable, internet, and telephone through a fiber optic line.
And I said, what? Excuse me, no, I did not sign up for FiOS. They're going in and they're saying one thing and they're doing another.
Wagaman's complaint and others got the attention of Montgomery County, Maryland's Office of Consumer Protection.
Consumers are filing complaints with us alleging that Verizon is engaged in deceptive marketing practices.
Some background here. Verizon is a regulated utility which provides telephone service, much of that on copper wires, some that date back to the late 1800s. But Verizon is also a communications company that competes in the unregulated world of providing TV, internet, and phone through fiber lines. Its unregulated service is called FiOS.
The real problem is that Verizon is really two companies in that sense, a regulated company and an unregulated company. And when a consumer is interacting with them, they don't know which company they're dealing with.
The Maryland Public Service Commission has received similar complaints, accusing Verizon of not repairing copper so it can sell more lucrative fiber services. One example. Verizon says they will disconnect my copper line and I will not have telephone service without FiOS. And the complaints are not just in Maryland. We obtained nationwide complaints from the Federal Trade Commission. This complaint from Pennsylvania. They send salesmen to the door to bother me, this bordering on harassment. They say copper is to be phased out. From Portland, Oregon. Going back to my previous phone service was no longer an option as Verizon had replaced my copper line. Long Beach, California. Verizon is unexpectedly cutting off phone service and then pressuring us to switch to more expensive FiOS when we ask what's wrong with the landline. There are also complaints on Verizon's website. Can Verizon demand and order me to switch to FiOS? I have no problem with my copper line. We asked Verizon whether it was systematically eliminating copper and replacing it with fiber.
We are maintaining copper. Copper's a great product. It's very old, but it works for a lot of people, and it will continue to work.
Copper is expensive to fix, so when there is a continuous problem, Verizon admits it often replaces copper with fiber to ensure customers have a phone line.
Our position is this: no matter what type of network you're served on, our responsibility is to provide you that service.
But the fact is, when Verizon upgrades a house to fiber, it becomes easier for its unregulated side to upsell other services that would not be possible on copper. And some regulators worry Verizon, the regulated phone company, is creating customers for the unregulated Verizon, and consumers are being misled. Any deception going on here?
Absolutely not. It would be a travesty for us to even dream about being deceptive to a customer base who can walk away from us.
So whether it's because consumers are confused or Verizon reps are making mistakes, regulators want it cleared up.
And all we're saying is they've got to give full disclosure to consumers, not misrepresent to consumers any information about copper.
So if you wonder which is better, copper or fiber, there are pros and cons. Verizon says fiber is more reliable and can handle more services, but remember, copper phone lines work when the power goes out. Fiber lines do need battery backup.
Interesting.
Important to know.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Liz.
Liz.